Welcome everybody to the third and final of our three-part series on the explanation of our operations update. If you have not watched the first video, I highly recommend you do. That video really sets out the scene for this three-part series. And it's the first of the video series that goes over the central Hawkins corridor here and the McKinnon zone here. But this video is about what we're doing on the eastern claims. So what I'm going to do is go over what we know about the eastern claims and what we're going to be doing on it. Because remember, in the first video, I was explaining that exploration is an iterative process. You take the information you have, you build a model, a geologic theory about where gold is, and then you go out and collect more data in the form of drilling, geophysics, soil sampling, mapping, and then you put it back into your model and update your model. And you keep moving around and around and around again like that until you find your 2 to 3 million ounces of gold. And so our eastern claims here are our earliest exploration stage of claims on the Hawkins project. So the work that we're going to be doing is going to be really our first time out there. But I will tell you about what we see there already, what information we have there already, and why we are very excited about those claim blocks anyways. So here is the Hawkins outline, the claims outline. It's on top of the bedrock geology map that we saw in the second video. And these are the eastern claim blocks here. We've got an intrusive rock again. Remember, that's that magmatic body that can bring up heat sources and potentially be a source for minerals. We've got the greenstone belt as well. And we've got that shear zone, the Pascuda Lake shear zone coming up through the property there. And remember, shear zones are important for allowing fluid movement and gold mobilization. But also on the eastern claim block geologically, we have some early indicators that there are Temiskaming-like sediments, and Temiskaming-like sediments are important, are often associated with gold camps around the Abitibi because of the geologic setting that Temiskaming sediments represent. So we're going to be exploring and following up on those sediments to see, or those sedimentary rocks to see if that actually has any validity in the area. So that's some initial geologic information that tells us that the eastern claim blocks are going to be interesting for gold deposition. But also we have the government geophysics survey that was conducted in 2015. So that was an airborne survey that collected electromagnetics and magnetics. And so on the right here, we have the magnetics map. That's the TMI, or total magnetic intensity map. And from it, we can see the outline of that intrusive rock that I pointed out on the geologic map. So that's there. And then we've got the interpreted shear zone coming up through here. And that creates a very interesting pressure shadow right here. Pressure shadows are important because they potentially will allow an easier path for fluid movement. So maybe that's where fluid movement would have gone. So we're really interested in this pressure shadow over here. Then we go over to the electromagnetics. This is the VTEM. For those of you who care what VTEM stands for, it's versatile time domain electromagnetics. And that's these pinks and whites and yellows coming up through here. That is the conductivity. That's what VTEM measures there. And we've also overlain this on the bedrock geology map. So this is where that pressure shadow is, right over here. You can see that in red over here. This is where the pressure shadow is on this map. And it's associated with these conductivity highs. Okay, so now we've layered all this data together. We see a pattern that's emerging, and that tells us we're interested in this area. So now we've been able to narrow down an area that's going to be our priority target for this mapping season. And this mapping season, we're going to send out mappers and prospectors out there. They might do some trenching if we see something interesting. And all of that information will start to tell us and inform us about our next steps on these eastern claim blocks. All right, well, thank you for watching this three-part series. I hope it's been helpful and informative to tell you about why we're doing what we're doing this year, and also especially that first video, putting those drill results into context. If you have any questions, as always, reach out. We're happy to set up meetings to talk about things. And if you haven't signed up to the mailing list, please do so, because that's where you'll be getting a lot of information. Thanks very much.